Hello, I'm Natalie Harms, reporter for CoStar News Hotels, reporting here at Hotel Data Conference, and I'm joined by Chris Hardy, Vice President of Commercial Strategy at Parks Hospitality Group. Chris, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Pleasure to be here.
So obviously we're getting hit with a lot of data here at HGC.
We are.
I want to hear about you specifically and Parks specifically. So far this year, what have been the biggest challenges and the biggest opportunities for Parks?
Sure. It's been a good year overall. We're seeing demand really peak on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, primarily across the board for our portfolio. So that has been an opportunity for us to continue to maximize those nights and days of weeks. The challenge for us has been trying to grow some more on the shoulder nights and seeking the opportunities there to balance out the weeks more because we're seeing stronger corporate transient and continued strong leisure demand. So that's really attributing to a lot of that midweek and also Saturday growth. So those have been our main opportunities and challenges, just speaking high level. When we look at the group segment, it's been a little bit more short term in the booking window, so that has caused and created some challenges with the forecasting, of course, and then also continued pressure on the bottom line as costs continue to increase. So the margins certainly are an area of focus that we continue to work on as well.
Yeah, I want to drill down a little bit into the shoulder days because that is something we've heard a little bit about here at HGC. What's the process of kind of targeting those specific opportunities? Is it drilling down to the data? Is it property specific?
It is. It's all those things. So every market and every hotel is different, and there's different demand generators. So just using the data to find where that demand is coming from, where you see it in the where you're seeing it in the market, and then making sure that you're deploying those strategies to capture those opportunities and that demand that is out there that could fill in some of those gaps.
What about growth opportunities? How is Parks looking at markets specifically you want to grow in, or types of hotels you want to grow your portfolio? How are you looking at growth?
Sure. So we develop, own, and manage all of our assets. We're focused on the southeast of the United States, and we're primarily looking in the mid-scale, the upper mid-scale, and upscale hotel classes. So that's really where our focus is, and our goal is about 2 openings per year. So we're on that path right now. So that's what we're looking at.
Awesome, amazing. So I know you work very closely with Marriott and Hilton. When you're having those conversations with them, with these brands, what are their priorities this year and how they're looking at the future?
Yeah, there's been certainly a proliferation of brands coming onto market. So scaling, all the different brands, across those 2 chains. We're seeing that, and just really where the opportunities are, where there's gaps in certain markets, whether that's in an extended stay, a mid-scale, upper upscale brand. So they're really trying to define the customer demand and the lanes for all these brands, and of course trying to scale up on some of the new brands that they've launched. So we work with both of them, and a lot of it comes down to brand availability too, because a lot of markets are already saturated, and we take a look at what brands are still out there, and if there is enough to support some additional supply coming into the market.
So they're not coming to you and like, hey, Chris, we need more of X, Y, and Z.
No, not usually.
That's good. What about owners? I think you own all of your portfolio?
Yes, we do.
So what are your priorities from the owner's perspective?
Yeah, we're I always say I'm blessed because we have one owner.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies out there that, of course, deal with a multitude of owners that have different priorities and different goals. So really ours is just to be the best in every market that we operate in. We want to be great brand partners, we want to be great community partners, we want to be a great place to work for our associates, and then at the end of the day, of course, deliver an outstanding experience to our guests. So really looking at all those different levels and see where we can continue to really push and elevate in all aspects of our operation. And at the end of the day, it comes down to all those things, but also profitability. So really making sure that we're building brands in markets that are growing and have the opportunity, and then put the best product and team out there that can deliver.
Yeah, well, on the other side are very much connected to profitability. I think, with hotel performance really seemingly doing well and us feeling very confident in the data there, margins are still tight. Kind of how do you navigate this business environment where costs are creeping up still, and whether or not they're creeping up or still staying high? How are you handling that?
Sure. Well, from a commercial side, it's looking at your mix. So, and not just gone are the days where we're just looking at RevPAR as the metric, right? So we're peeling it down into the different layers of understanding what the acquisition costs are behind all the different segments and channels that are out there to make sure that we're driving the most profitable business into the hotels. So we're using as much data as we can in order to understand that and look at our performance, not just from a top line perspective, but what is coming down to the bottom line, because at the end of the day, of course, that's what matters. We're also taking a look at our operational efficiencies across all of our hotels as well, and that includes also the commercial side of it, working with all of our vendor partners and evaluating what platforms and technologies are out there that we can implement to reduce costs, drive more efficiencies, and not sacrifice service levels.
Awesome. Well, we're not quite to the end of the year, but I know everyone is thinking forward to 2027. What are your expectations for the rest of 2026 and into 2027 from Park's perspective?
Sure. I think I share a lot of the macro forecast, how it's positive year to date, and then we continue to see the same level of optimism going into the back half of this year and into 2027. All the broader fundamentals, I think, are there from an economic standpoint. Of course, there's always going to be some headwinds and geopolitical factors, and every market has its own challenges. But I think on an overall, when you look at it, the fundamentals are there. Travel demand is still strong. People have a very strong desire to travel from a leisure perspective, and corporate profits and earnings are very strong, so business travel has increased as well. So all those things together really point to a very positive end of this year and start, and hopefully all of 2027 and beyond.
May as well be an optimist. Why not?
Absolutely.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing all of this. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Appreciate it.
I'm Terence Baker, News Editor, Europe, Middle East and Africa, and I'm the host of The Upgrade, a CoStar News Hotels podcast for the EMEA region. In it, I discuss with special guests the pressures, challenges, joys and exhilaration that comes with managing, owning and developing hotels, hotel firms and ownership companies in our glorious multifaceted industry. Discovering the EMEA region from the scenic northern shores of Norway to a heights of Table Mountain in South Africa, from a warm welcome in Killarney and Galway in Ireland, to the glistening skyscrapers of Dubai, and most likely some chat about birdwatching, distance running and the English Premiership. Join us wherever you find your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify and on other platforms.
This episode of the CoStar News Hotels podcast was recorded on August 6th, 2026 by Owen Hallstatt at the 2026 Hotel Data Conference and was edited for the podcast by me, Natalie Harms. Find all hotel industry news, including more coverage from the event, at costar.com/hotelnews. Thanks for listening.